Hare Krishna. Komal Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine, Prabhuji.
How is Tirumala Mataji doing?
Yeah, she's doing good, Prabhuji. Yeah, nowadays she's doing good.
Yeah, nice. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. What is Varsha Mataji doing?
Varsha Mataji is gearing up.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Hare Krishna, Deepali Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. So we are in the 10th chapter, verse number 8, or we already covered 8?
9.
We already covered 9. Okay. Let me offer prayer and then we can start. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलान् श्रीगुरुवैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणरघुनाथान्वितां तां सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सह गणललित श्रीविशाख अन्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे पञ्चकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिकाकांत राधाकांत नमोस्तुते सप्तगांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी ऋषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, everyone. I will share the page. Let me know if you can see.
We can see, Prabhuji.
Okay. So, if I understand, then 10.8 is finished. But let's go through this because next 4 verses, I hope we can do it in one session. अहं सर्वस्य प्रभवो मत्तः सर्वं प्रवर्तते इति मत्वा भजन्ते मां बुधभावा समन्विताः. The translation goes like this: I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise, who perfectly knows this, engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. In this connection, the purport explains about the Krishna is a supreme person and how different references are there to understand the same thing. And a Krishna conscious person should not be bewildered by fools. This is a very, very difficult thing because how can a fool identify a learned person? It is something like if someone is already drowning, how can a person who is drowning can save? And how do we know that someone is capable person to trust. Hmm. So that's the reason when we take up to this right way of understanding these four verses. These four verses are called Chatushloki. If we want to understand the Bhagavad Gita, yeah, the whole gist of 700 verses are presented in these four verses, or can be seen. The first thing is asking about or telling about the supremacy of the Lord. Hmm? Aham sarvasya, aham sarvasya prabhavo. I am of all, uh, and that too, the source of all. Matta sarvam pravartate. Not only I am source, yeah, here it's repeating this similar. Yeah, from me everything emanates. It is not that okay, that Lord is the source of everything, but someone is creating still. No, there is this primary creation, secondary creation, but still that creation of second person who is Brahma, he's saying it's not mine, it's not my credit. Don't put on my name. It is still the Lord who is doing it. And then, and what happens if one is able to have this understanding, which itself is a very big thing, because of a lot of envy in our heart, because of a lot of confusion in our mind, because of lack of perfection of our eyes. So in different ways, we are not in a position to find a source, and that's why sometimes what we may do, we may take shelter of whom? Fools. If we are not wise. Only the wise who perfectly knows this engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. So this can give us a hint why some people do not take to Krishna consciousness. Of course, it's a gradual process for everyone. Even devotees have so many things to do. Otherwise, we will not be in this world. We are in this world mainly because we also have desire. It's not that we all are preachers. We all are messengers of the Lord, and our only business is to tell to the people who are foolish. No, even we are foolish. It is by great fortune of spiritual masters, by great fortune of sadhus, and great fortune of taking to Bhagavad Gita. In these ways, one is, yeah, getting that small faith that yes, out of frustration of this material world, we may be getting the impetus to find alternatives. And when we turn to Krishna, that faith, yeah, helps. And here we says, only a fool would consider Krishna to be an ordinary man. So early when we don't know, that is okay. Yeah. If we are new to some place, it is very well okay that we don't know. But if our attitude and character is good, if we really not just believe in our own goodness, but if we are really good, there is a lot of difference between believing that we are good and really good. Yeah, it's a check. It's a checkpoint where we can check whether we are really good or are we thinking ourselves good. How? If good people certify us that we are good. Of course, the goodness of good people, they will always see only good in us. Yeah, but at least they will see that good, and we say, okay, let me develop that goodness to a greater extent. Maybe other things are not good. Uh, these things are good. Okay, if I am a good uh, preacher, if someone appreciates that, it is not to take it for ourselves. It's nice. It's a medal to my neck, or a medallion to my shirt or collar. No, what we do is we use, okay, this is my strength, and let me use this strength for bhakti. This is what he says. A person, Krishna conscious person, should never be bewildered by fools. He should avoid all unauthorized commentaries and interpretations of Bhagavad Gita and proceed in Krishna consciousness with determination and firmness. These are two things. Dhairya and Utsaha. Yeah. Dhairya, yeah, is determination. Utsaha is enthusiasm. Yeah. Yeah. And also your determination. So when we have this strong determination and firmness, even if someone comes and shakes us, determination helps us to become advance quickly, and firmness helps us not to get deviated, which also doubly helps to advance. And after advancing, what is that we want? That is what is said in 10:9. Matchitta madgata prana bodayantas parasparam katayantascha mam nityam tushtanti cha ramanti cha. What is the benefit of becoming a Krishna conscious is not a tag. Does someone want to talk or no? So, what is the benefit of identifying our position and the greatness of Krishna is uh, to engage into activities. When we are talking that this um, uh, first of all, to get that fortune is what? To have an understanding of what is the purpose of life. The purpose of life is to appreciate Krishna as the Supreme. Uh, so once we come out of this covering of foolishness, yeah. When I'm telling these words, please don't mind it. These are words for myself. Yeah, that foolishness that is there, when that foolishness of not understanding the Lord is slowly diminishing because of great fortune of the blessings of so many, and also the right education in the form of Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, which is telling that we should be humble, we should be pure, we should be a friend to everyone. So many great qualities. Slowly, at least a tinge of that, when that comes in, then our condition, it is something like medicine. The medicine starts working. So we are becoming once again healthier. So in that way, but here now the point is that when we understand this, why should we delay what we should do? What we should do is also Krishna is telling. Krishna is saying, Krishna should become his life and soul, and he should constantly hear about and discuss about Krishna. What is it? The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me, which means consciousness becomes Krishna consciousness. Yeah. It is not no more that we are understanding that we are part of this samsar. Yeah, we don't understand, identify ourselves more with this Vishaya. Yeah. There is this Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehinah rasavajam rasopyascha param drishtva nivartate. The divine vision, just by becoming that, I am coming out from that foolish condition, promotes us to do what? Engage in the service of what? Hearing and discussing of what? When two persons come together, usually we take up very nice topics which are current affairs. What happened in the war? What happened to Ambani? Or what happened to that? What happened to this? So many mundane topics. These are only kind of, maybe mind is asking, we are providing mind, but it is not giving any pleasure to the heart, where the requirement of soul are not covered, fulfilled. So what is happening is, because of that, there is always more and more interest to learn more and more, because we think that by knowing more we may be uh, doing a right thing. But it's not about the quantity. It is not about the quantity. Just imagine, there is this nice story. Hare Krishna. Okay, sorry. So this nice story, what is it telling? That once the king, yeah, yeah, wanted to test about the honesty of their citizens, and he said, okay, everyone bring milk, and big container is arranged so that everyone can bring the milk, and then this milk will be served. Yeah, we have this like dairy farms. It's not like a person to person, but it's a CBC, customer to business to customer, not customer to customer. Yeah. So what happened is that yeah, when Raja says no one says no, I won't do it. Uh, so everyone brought their big milk. I don't know what is it called, containers, and they started pouring into this big drum, a huge drum. Yeah, and then yeah, and in that way, after the whole village have brought the milk, then the minister is showing the king, now collect the milk from the tap or whatever, and then he saw uh, there is maybe a color of milk, but most of thing is only water. Why? Because everyone, they thought, okay, others will pour the milk now. If I pour water also, there is no harm. No one will know it. I don't know. If someone have already heard this is coming as part of um, Tenali Ramakrishna story or Bhatti Vikramarka, one of that. When I was kid, I heard that. So this shows that what are we bringing? What are we bringing? If we bring good, we will get good. Just like the example last time I gave about the Mestri, uh, who was building very nice architecture, nice houses, and the last house he built after his retirement was a very third class house. And the owner plan was that whatever hard work that his servant has done for him, yeah, he anyway was giving salary, but he also want to give him a bonus. The bonus was that this last house, whatever he will construct, it will be his. But this, the Mestri, the guy didn't know it. So he was in a hurry to go into a honeymoon or what is it called, retirement life of enjoyment. And in that hurry, he didn't do properly. And when the master gave this house, then he understood how foolish he is. So what does this mean is that when we have understood our foolish condition, we have to slowly work our ways to come up to the platform of practicing it. And how can we practice? I know now Krishna is supreme, but what should I do now? Yes, and this verse is telling Krishna should become his life and soul. That is what is Krishna consciousness, which means everything, whatever we are thinking, whatever we want to do, whatever we are hearing, talking, and everything. Yeah, right now, His Grace Brajasundar Prabhu is speaking about the life of King Ambarish. Yeah, the great Bhagavat. Uh, uh, who is he? King Ambarish. Why? Because he is constantly, who is a Bhagavat, who is always thinking and acting in the service of Krishna. He is a Bhagavat. And here what we see is um, that thoughts of such pure devotees always dwell in me. This is what Krishna is saying. Krishna is saying, thoughts of my pure devotees like King Ambarish, Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruva Maharaj, Narada Muni, everyone, what they do, they dwell in, and their lives are fully devoted to my service. And they derive great satisfaction and bliss from. This is the very important part. Before that, their lives are fully devoted to me, to my service. What does it mean is after knowing or after understanding our disease condition, after slowly we are improving. If we don't follow the diet, if you don't follow what are the rules and regulations, if you don't follow the regime of a sadhana, of chanting and hearing the glories of the Lord, then there is again that a repetition of becoming foolish. There is again the chance that one can fall down again. Why? Because he didn't take proper care to maintain or advance his consciousness. So it means like if a fool is in association of a fool, he will be fool number one. Why? Because the fool is always encouraging how to be more foolish. Because mind is always telling, hey, let's do this, let's do that. And because of that foolish actions or activities, this person, even though by great fortune he comes across a devotee and he is blessing with Krishna consciousness, but because in the association of foolish people, there is a very likelihood to be again converted a fool. Conversions are going on everywhere, right? This fool conversion is even bigger problem. What is this? Rubbing the atheistic ideology so that one can enjoy one's life to the fullest extent. That is even dangerous. At least I see some religions, they are at least converting so that the foolish people can at least take to God consciousness. But there is also a very strong opposition where there are so many atheistic energies that convert people who are devotional into atheistic, saying, non-veg is not a problem. After all, you should get lot of minerals, lot of protein, lot of omega 3 and all, so that the propensity for enjoying, people who are enjoying will give them. It is said that in Shastra that one should not eat meat, not because of caring animals. That is not the only reason. It is not even good for us. Whatever we think that by eating meat we can become, that what we can become is become more in the mode of passion. Whatever meat you take, one may say, no, 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 fishes are not like that. Fishes give a lot of value to our body. Fishes, eggs, any kind of meat, it's not good. And of course there are so many debates. Why? Because people think that meat eating is approved. Who is that? Some FDA, some other authorities. Why? They are seeing only a non they are not able to see from a karmic understanding what karmic effects it will lead to. Because they are not seeing how this is so subtly affecting our body, mind, and consciousness. They are only seeing that at a body level, what is it giving? Yeah. Our science is not developed so much that how a consciousness will change by eating all these things. Just by seeing a design of a teeth, just by seeing the taste or interest on meat eating, one cannot decide that meat eating is perfect, is good. And then one can go back to the history and say, come on, Kshatriyas are allowed to eat meat. Come on, Shudras are allowed to eat meat. Eating meat. Yeah, there are examples, right? We don't have to go to any other religion. Even in Hinduism, there is. But one have to understand that that meat eating is not a full-fledged approval, but it was only um, what do we call this? Compromise. Uh, it is only a liberalizing for people who have still that taste because of previous births. Maybe someone is so much interested in meat eating, that's why in this birth he has got this. But it doesn't mean that, okay, now he has the facility, he should continue eating. Why? Because eating will create another life of same meat eating and another life of same meat eating. And in this way, when meat eating is going on, it, because the cuisines have become so advanced. In the past, there was only 2 types or 3 types. Now, if you go to Mongos or some other nonsense, there are so many varieties, right from leopard, snake, what all nonsense, or so many things, and people want to try one after the other and to see, hey, it is great. What is great? To become a victim of a victim is not great. Just for a matter of taste, if we keep on killing, the day may come when we have to kill our own family members. We are not ready for that because society stops. But why is society not stopping to kill animals? Now someone may say, no, 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 we are cultivating for eating, just like farming. Yeah, but the consciousness levels are different from species to species. Anyway, I mean, that's not the main thing, main topic. But yeah, then what happens is, yes, what I want to tell is when people are in foolish association, then they will develop foolish consciousness. How to overcome that is mentioned here. Huh? By what? They derive great satisfaction. After all, whether we are eating that or talking this or seeing that is for what? For satisfaction. A happiness. When I'm going to bed, I am happy. That is the main goal. For that we are what we are doing the whole day we are struggling. And very funnily, night we even don't know who we are. So what is the value of feeling that satisfaction in the end and then going to bed is something like uh, working very hard, very, very hard. And when the time came, yeah, we are investing all this into something that doesn't give value. Just imagine you're a manager, you're working every hour, and finally the manager is saying, "Oh, I don't need it." Why? Because I want to sleep. Dinesh Prabhu? If manager, after you say, hey, I have done everything, if you want to submit your work, if manager says, I am not interested, what is the use?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Or he says, I'm sleeping now. What will you feel?
Yeah, I
Hmm?
mean, we feel bad. I mean, we think that, okay, I have some self-respect, so my manager should accept everything that I do.
Yeah. So what is happening is that manager is the soul inside. The soul is not at all interested on this. It is only the mind is making us work hard. Just like you are always thinking, let me please the manager, let me please the manager. In that way, when mind is engaging us in that, why? Because appreciation, is the appreciation going to the soul? Hmm? Appreciation doesn't go to the soul because the soul really doesn't care appreciation. The soul is so pure that it has no false ego identification with the body. The soul is only interested if the Lord is pleased. I am happy. From there he takes the happiness. It has nothing to do with mind, mind activities, results, all those things. So in that way, the satisfaction what we are looking in the end, we are only feeling that this will suffice our needs. But after going to bed, we don't care whatever satisfaction we have. It is only for that moment. Next day we will start again fresh, or maybe something credit from the previous day or like previous life. We'll take again something from that and we engage again. Uh, but ultimately the goal is to be satisfied, and we see how to be satisfied always is by they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me. So here the trick is if we want to be really happy, really satisfied, and this which increase and increase. Why? Because you may see devotees sleeping time reduces. I don't know if Harika Mataji joined or Sudhir Prabhu is there or any one of us. Yeah. As soon as when we started chanting, what is happening? It's affecting us little, at least our sleeping time. Adirasa Prabhu?
Yes, Guruji. Yeah.
Yeah. And are we frustrated? No, we are satisfied more and more. We want to hear more and more katha. We want to hear more and more signs of God. Hmm. And how can we get that? Is in the purport. We see. Few devotees whose characteristics are mentioned here engage themselves fully in transcendental loving service of the Lord. Not just knowing, but actually engaging in the service. That is the trick which gives satisfaction, happiness. Their mind cannot be diverted from the lotus feet of Krishna. Their talks are solely on the transcendental subjects. The symptoms of pure devotee are described in this verse specifically. Devotees of the Lord are 24 hours daily engaged in glorifying the qualities and pastimes of the Supreme Lord. Their hearts and souls are constantly submerged in Krishna, and they take pleasure in discussing Him with other devotees. So, when we come across a devotee, our good fortune is we will not just talk all nonsense. Our good fortune is that we still talk about how we can engage ourselves in Krishna consciousness. Though the topics may look like mundane topics, but these are not so gross mundane topics. These topics are still conclusive towards becoming a Krishna conscious. If I am asking, when I come to Linda, oh, tell me where is Rebe? Oh, come on. It's Rebe is a matter, material thing. Material things are sold. There is no agarbattis, there are no japamalas, there are no saris or whatever. There is no Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam in Rebe. Yeah, it's a matter. But what I am doing by going to Reve is bringing fruits, water, vegetables that can be used in the service of the Lord. And then in this process of buying, my consciousness is dwelling in what pleases Krishna. What Krishna wants. Does he want uh, very, very elaborate feasts which he doesn't like? No. If you see these wonderful paintings where Krishna is in the center and all his friends are sitting, yeah, there's a whole list of what items they eat, how the gopas they what kind of food they bring, and what they offer to Krishna, and what Krishna enjoys. Everything is described. So Bodhayanta Parasparam. That is the discussions that the devotees will have when they come across each other to discuss what pleases Lord. The preliminary stage of devotional service, they relish the transcendental pleasure from the service itself. And in the mature state, they are actually situated in love of God. So even if we want immediate pleasure, I don't want to wait long. I don't have time. Immediate pleasure also one can extract from what? By becoming a devotee. Because the pleasure is a transcendental pleasure. There is a huge difference between material pleasure and transcendental pleasure. The material pleasure is what? The more and more you supply, the more and more it wants more. We all know. Yeah, we don't have to go to examples. We know like a smoker who may start with one cigarette will end up in a chain smoker. One who is an alcoholic may start with one glass, can end up in bottles. Yeah, and still not satisfied. Otherwise, we would have found that this is the secret of happiness forever. No, that's not the case. Coffee, coffee. Yeah, one glass of coffee would refresh our mind, but now we need more coffees or teas. There are so many things. These are whatever we think that is our external entities for happiness. Yeah? They don't. These are material happiness which are very temporary, only a moment for a moment, and then they go. But then there is the spiritual pleasure or transcendental pleasure. What is the beauty of this pleasure is this Anandam Buddhivardhanam Pratipadam Purnamrata Swadanam Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. Nam Nam. Anyway, so this verse is saying that Anandam Buddhivardhanam. This pleasure that one gets from the service of the Lord or chanting and hearing the glories of the Lord is incomparable, and it is so nice, so nice. Why? Because this is the real happiness that really goes and sits in the heart. Hmm? See, after all, if we do something, if it will stay with us, then we will be satisfied. Otherwise, if there is it is something like um, you have ordered raw material to construct your house, and then this house You are building exactly next to a beach. For that material, whatever you are bringing, you are putting on the beach. And we know that night times, the, what is it, ebbs or tides, water high, I don't know, anyway, the water level comes more into the beach, and it will take away the waves. What is happening to your raw material? It's gone. It is just flowing, yeah, in the waves, in the water waves, and then it's gone. What is the use of doing all this? It's a repetition of effort and frustration, because when we are doing so many times the same thing, it will not give us pleasure, because we think, after all, I tried 1 time, 2 time, 10 time, 100 times, but it's not giving. That's not the case with spiritual assets. The transcendental pleasure, when we engage in service, because there is no expectation of um, this material returns. Why? Because we start to believe that whatever, if Krishna is happy, then we are happy. That is the consciousness we will understand. And then whatever we are doing, we are pleasing the Lord in the service. So they release the transcendental pleasure from the service itself. So just to see the Lord, wow, so nicely dressed today. I could manage to offer nice prasadam to the Lord today. I could sing for the Lord today. That happiness is incomparable to the happiness we are getting any other means. Because these, it goes into the heart. And unlike the material pleasures which will agitate and demand more and more pleasure, this spiritual pleasure soothes or cools our heart. So instead of agitation, it brings harmony. Why? Because this is exactly what even the body also want, but it's kind of deprogrammed. But when we start reprogramming properly, then the body and heart, the soul, both are in sync, and they have experienced that pleasure that one has not experienced till now. Not in this life, but in so many lifetimes, whatever we were enjoying, that pleasure is not compared to this. Lord Chaitanya likens transcendental devotional service to the sowing of a seed in the heart of living entity. So whatever I was saying, this pleasure that is able to penetrate to the walls of our heart is compared to a seed. What is it? It's like sowing a seed in the soil. This is the example, and this is what is happening also, like bhakti lata bija. Bija means seed. The analogy is this transcendental devotional service to sowing of a seed in the heart of a living entity is picked from Chaitanya Charitamrita. I don't know if it's mentioned here. No, it's not mentioned. Yeah, it's here. This plant of devotional service is fully described in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, chapter 19. It is explained there that when the complete plant takes shelter under the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, one becomes fully absorbed in love of God. Then he cannot live even for a moment without being in contact with the Supreme Lord. Example given is like a fish cannot live outside the water. In such state, the devotee actually attains the transcendental qualities in contact with the Lord. Whatever the struggle we are doing, that we are not having these good qualities, oh, I have these bad qualities and all those things, everything will automatically set. We become first class person just by practicing Krishna consciousness. And then there is a whole examples that are given is that yeah, in this how to take care of the seed. Yeah, the seed is explained that we should water the seed. Watering the seed, it's not just we put the seed inside and it's gone. Yeah, this watering process is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says in the 19th chapter of this Madhya Leela that it is through chanting and hearing, yeah, by Shravanam and Kirtanam of Hare Krishna, that watering process is going on. And then what happens? Uh, then seed will fructify. Yeah, the seed will start germinate and start becoming a plant and grows. What it will do, it will penetrate the covering of material universe. Whatever our mind, which is now only seeing on a lines of material world, yeah, our consciousness is advancing. It goes beyond Brahma Jyoti, and then it will finally reach as the final destination, the highest spot, which is Goloka Vrindavan, and take shelter there. And by gradually it will bear fruits and flowers, and all this, whatever we are doing, this is not just a one time. It will go on, and it's not a force. It's not someone has to force, but it will help us to ourselves accept to this process gradually. And in that stage, it says that one cannot live even for a moment without Lord. Just like the example given is this fish and water. And all this can happen how? Yeah, like now how we are discussing about Bhagavad Gita, and then we are also discussing Bhagavatam. So in that way, the Srimad Bhagavatam, why? It is also full of such narrations about the relationship between the Supreme Lord and his devotees. Therefore, the Srimad Bhagavatam is very dear to the devotees, as is stated in Bhagavad Gita 12, 13, 18. Srimad Bhagavatam Puranam Amalam Yad Vaishnavanam Priyam. In this narration, there is nothing about material activities, economic development, sense gratification, or liberation. Oh my God, then what is this book talking about? There is no kama, there is no artha, there is no dharma, artha, kama, and also not even moksha. After all, we are suffering from this world, we want freedom. But that freedom, yeah, is also not the main object of this Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is the only narration in which the transcendental nature of the Supreme Lord, the nature of the Lord and his devotees is fully described. Thus, the realized souls, what they do is they do Bhagavad Katha. Yeah, it is not like, okay, now we have a gathering, now let's pull some nice Sanskrit shlokas about the Lord, and we don't understand them, but still we are doing because it's a custom, or it's a tradition, or it's a culture. I have seen my grandfathers doing, my great grandfathers did, so let me also do. Not a ritualistic way. To really appreciate such a conversation. And what does it give? It is not only for a namesake, it's not only for a time pass, it's no. What it does is, just as a young boy and a girl take pleasure in association, this attachment between the young girl and boy is so much that they always look opportunity how to uh, uh, come close in spite of so many barriers. Our attachment to Krishna also develops so much that whatever, if someone, our neighbor is telling something, or our family is telling something, if our friends are telling something, all these, if these are bad associations as per Shastras, we are ready to give up. Not the association, bad habits. Any questions before we go on next one? Komal Prabhu, Adirasa Prabhu.
No,
Anyone?
Prabhu.
Any questions? Tirumala Mataji? Hare Krishna.
No, Prabhuji.
All clear?
Hare,
Fine. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Adhira Prabhu.
Um, we you were talked about the spiritual pleasure that we get from this
Mm-hmm.
devotional service, but
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we see that many people say or they feel that they are not feeling any or they are not getting any spiritual pleasure, and then they feel the emptiness in the devotional service, and many people then also leave that
Mm-hmm.
saying that yeah, there is no rasa or pleasure.
Yeah, yeah. You want to make a nice chapati dough, but you're not putting wheat in it. Hmm? What will happen?
Yeah, it will not be nice.
It won't happen, right? So, if someone is not having, if someone is not relishing the transcendental bliss, what they are bringing is they are bringing their own things into that service. Yeah. Sometimes don't we see that someone says, "Hey, you know what? I did this garland." Hmm? Sometimes someone says that, "Oh, today, yeah, see, I have dressed the deities nice." Hmm? Yeah, I have sung. Uh, yeah, this kirtan is so nice because I sang so nicely. So this is like we are bringing something else into this business. And when we do that, what is happening is we are not when we don't bring the right ingredients, how can there be a real happiness? Or maybe they start identifying, oh, this is itself the happiness. Just like, yeah, if you are doing Ashtanga yoga, and now and then there will be a guru, he's asking, hey, have you seen something? Have you seen something? Have you closed your eyes properly and focused between your eyebrows? Have you seen something? What is that? He's expecting that this person will be forced to say that, yes, I have seen something. I don't know if someone has practiced yoga. Maybe the teachers are very good. They didn't demand so much. But yeah, then they start selling, you know what? My whole forehead started shining. Body became cool, body became warm, and then there is something happening in my body that I never experienced. Maybe these are things if will happen even if you're just sitting idle. Don't have to do yoga. So what people misidentify the real happiness that is coming with this, and they think, okay, I don't see any difference. I see the same happiness what I was doing if I make a garland, to Lord or not to the Lord. Same, because where what we are bringing is our own same thing. It is something like when we go to yatra, when we go to pilgrim. If we still expect that, hey, I should have such facility like I have a five-star hotel, a very nice chauffeur, uh, and all those things. Can he anyway enjoy the naturality or nature there of the place? Hmm? What do you say, Adira Prabhu?
Yes, so you mean when we bring our expectations
Yeah, there
or
is also
interest.
this training process, right? So just like cycle, when we want to learn cycle, we can't just do whatever we want. There is a way that you have to pedal. There is a way you have to hold the handle. There is a way. There is a way how you have to monitor around you. Everything is there. And if you just have a cycle and we say, hey, I have not got uh, uh, the pleasure of riding a cycle, there is some fault. Why? Because the process is very clear. Mm. The beauty of Krishna consciousness is the process is proven. The process is well proven. This is what when we read Bhagavatam, we see that, okay, but what qualities are needed? That is missing. The ingredient that is needed is not there. How can we expect there will be happiness from the service? Whatever initially we identify that pleasure is still on a material platform because, okay, I want fame, name, and all these anarthas are still there. So through that, when we are doing service, we just similarly think, hey, this is material pleasure, compared to spiritual pleasure. Both look similar. Why? Because the spiritual pleasure is not even coming there. It is something like you ate uh, an ice cream, yeah, and that is still is relishing, yeah, in your mouth. You still have this taste of the sweetness or the ice cream. Your mind, consciousness, everything is absorbed in it. Now someone is says, hey, I have a better ice cream which is even tastier than that. What will you do if your mouth is already there, yeah, contaminated or not contaminated, but vasana, what do we call? It's already affected, right? It takes some time that you can come to your neutral stage. This cleaning process, what we do, we clean our mouth and then we take next thing. Yeah, did it answer your question?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, yeah. I mean, following the process as it is,
Yes,
that
correct.
makes it. Yeah.
Yes. The problem is we don't want to follow the process, we want the result. Isn't it? Because following a process is too much big effort. Let's not do it. Let's find an easy way. What do you say, Sagar Prabhu? Isn't it the case? Most of the time, yeah, we are not bringing, but we want results. Yeah, maybe you're on mute or anyone want to add or to answer Adirasa Prabhu question? Okay, let's go to the next verse. The next verse is Tesham Satatajuktanam Bhajatam Pritipurvakam Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam Yena Mam Upayantite. This shloka is telling us the next level. To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. So if the seed that is sown properly and you are engaging in service, and if this potential is there in the seed to go and reach to Goloka Dham, Goloka Vrindavana, so what is needed is to constantly devote oneself in serving the Lord with love. How many days can we do this? Now I know the process. Adirasa Prabhu, you told me how to do it. And now after knowing the process, now when I'm starting to do, after 2 days I'm getting exhausted. After maybe 3 days I'm getting exhausted. How can I lovingly serve the Lord 24/7 forever? Just having a thought of this makes me tired. How? Because that thinking of how itself is so puzzling. Can I really do it? Can I really do it so long? I have till now committed so many things I didn't do it. Huh? Can I really commit to something I can't even see the result? Do I have so much patience? Krishna is saying that I give the understanding by which they can come to me. What we have to do? We don't have to open a big, what do you call this? Encyclopedia, which has everything. I don't have to open up this book and start understanding every detail from that. The Lord is saying what intelligence you need, I'm going to give. Yeah. So this is here. There are in this we understand the different yogas. What is karma yoga? What is jnana yoga? What is buddhi yoga? Is explained in this verse. Yes. Maybe someone want to read this?
May I, Prabhuji?
Okay. Sure.
Translation: to those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. Purport. In this verse, the word Buddhi Yogam is very significant. We may remember that in the second chapter, the Lord instructing Arjuna said that he had spoken to him of many things and that he would instruct him in the way of Buddhi Yoga. Now, Buddhi Yoga is explained. Buddhi Yoga itself is action in Krishna consciousness. That is the highest intelligence. Buddhi means intelligence and yoga means mystic activities or mystic elevation. When one tries to go back home, back to Godhead, and takes fully to Krishna consciousness in devotional service, his action is called Buddhi Yoga. In other words, Buddhi Yoga is the process by which one gets out of the entanglement of this material world. The ultimate goal of progress is Krishna. People do not know this, therefore, the association of devotees and a bona fide spiritual master are important. One should know that the goal is Krishna, and when the goal is assigned, then the path is slowly but progressively traversed, and the ultimate goal is achieved. Then a person knows the goal of
Maybe
life.
someone else can
Yeah, okay, Prabhuji.
someone else can read. Hare Krishna. Someone else can read this.
May I, Prabhuji? Nobody's reading.
Yeah, let's see. Someone else would like to read.
Yeah.
Shall I?
Yeah.
When a person knows the goal of life but is addicted to the fruits of activities, he is acting in Karma Yoga. When he knows that the goal is Krishna, but he takes pleasure in mental speculations to understand Krishna, he is acting in Jnana Yoga. And when he knows the goal and seeks Krishna completely in Krishna consciousness and devotional service, he is acting in Bhakti Yoga or Buddhi Yoga, which is the complete yoga. This complete yoga is the highest perfectional stage of life.
Someone else. Yeah, someone else can read the remaining.
May I propose?
Yes, please.
A person may have a bona fide spiritual master and may be attached to a spiritual organization. But if he is still not intelligent enough to make progress, then Krishna from within gives him instructions so that he may ultimately come to him without difficulty. The qualification is that a person always engage himself in Krishna consciousness and with love and devotion render all kinds of services. He should perform some sort of work for Krishna, and that work should be with love. If a devotee is not intelligent enough to make progress on the path of self-realization, but is sincere and devoted to the activities of devotional service, the Lord gives him a chance to make progress and ultimately attain to him.
Thank you. Yeah, so this purport is giving us a way out. If we really are sincere, how to do it is, yeah, Buddhi Yoga is the topmost yoga. But how many can do this? How many can follow this? It's not so easy thing, right? First, why? Because when we are in a foolish condition, or when we are not having a matured intelligence, how can we expect to practice Buddhi Yoga? As Adirasa Prabhu you said, na, people are not feeling pleasure, not experiencing happiness from service. Why? Because this is the secret he had mentioned. That though the ultimate goal is Krishna, but unless one is in the association of devotee or a bona fide spiritual master, then it's not possible to really follow this process. Krishna is the goal. It is something like we know that, hey, we are stuck in a forest, we have to get out. But there should be a guide who can show the path to go out of, get out of this forest. Or a map, or yeah, some direction through which one can. That can be, yeah. There are so many people. They say, "Hey, I am your guide. I am your guide." I don't know. I think all of you are very younger than me, but I think it's still now it is happening. If you go to a famous Indian temple, Outside there will be people there. Hey, can I become your guide? Have anyone come across that? Or maybe if you go to Taj Mahal, even today it happens. Hmm?
Yes, Prabhuji.
And they will also show that their ID card. At least I have seen their ID card to really know whether they are or who are they. Of course, they charge a huge amount because after all they have studied what MA, Master of Arts or some history and something, and yeah, then they want to make that as a profession, and as part of the profession, what they will do is they will sell themselves. But there are so many bogus people also use. I can tell an example. When I was living in Kalahasti, when I was doing my studies, yeah, we used to play with some local people, and of course, among them one was a Brahmin, and very, I mean, he takes alcohol, he eats. Yeah, I mean, his lifestyle I know very well. Yeah, not to glorify more, but his lifestyle is very, yeah. But then being a pujaris or yeah, the person who assists them there in the temple, being his son, and you know what happens? Kalahasti became famous, and foreigners started coming, and then this is the only guy who knows one or two words of English, and then he became the guide, and then whatever he used to tell, they used to understand or not, but I don't know. In the end, they used to give a lot of money, and it became a he became a guide. Is everyone following what I'm saying? Hmm? Haribol, everyone with me?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So there are so many so-called guides, and some are, yeah, know really what they are speaking. Some are just speaking for their own benefit, yeah, whatever. And then the people who are affected also, yeah, are people who really want to be cheated. Anyway, that's a different topic. But um, such kind of guides, Adirasa Prabhu, if one follows, there is no transformation. Why? Because it is not just a process telling, hey, you know what, it is like this. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, and in that way, step 9, and you will see Krishna face to face. Yeah, it is not just a mentioning some steps, but these steps also should be authorized. Uh, it is not that, okay, if you build a very nice mansion with lot of money, then the Lord is pleased or I am pleased. There are so many gurus who accumulate lot of money. So that process doesn't work. It looks very scientific. One can just mention it very nicely to attract, but that processes will not work. Why? Because a fool is driving a fool. We know what happens, right? Gaurav Prabhu, what happens? Yeah, you approach a fool and you ask him to show the way. Have you tried this before?
Yes, Prabhu. Sometimes we don't know and we ask.
Not sometimes, every time we do this because we are fool. That's why we are approaching a fool. Unless you are confident that you are not fool. Hmm? How
Yes,
confident are we that we are not fools? Hmm? The first quality itself, I mean, the step one, the step one itself is that we accept we are fools. How many of us really believe in that? Some may say, come on, what is this? After all, I have studied so much. Huh? I am a topper in my class. I am doing things so nicely that everyone also understands it. And whatever I am doing is not breaking, it's really working. So, how can one say that I am a fool? Hmm? Can someone say no? I mean, I'm just telling. Can someone also say no, 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 we are not fool? Anyone would like to discuss? Yeah, this is also a very important point. To really understand our condition is very important.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Dinesh Prabhu.
I feel we are combination of two things, maybe foolish plus ignorance. So sometimes we are ignorant also, and we approach people.
Okay. Yeah, but to ignorance is resulting in foolishness.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, exactly. So what in those people? Yeah, in that case, that what about people who are thinking that hey, I am not fool. Yeah, this is what happens. In spite of a person who goes to a spiritual master, and the spiritual master is telling, hey, you should do like this. A foolish mind will tell, why should I do like this? Hmm? What will I get? What will I do? Why? Because we think that we are intelligent. Of course, the intelligence aspect is there. That intelligence, if it is used wrong, what will happen is our faith in wrong develops. So there is intelligence, but not used properly. Why Krishna is saying here that a person who is in Buddhi Yoga, it is a sign of highest intelligence. I don't know if you who read that. I think it was Dinesh Prabhu.
Yes,
Huh?
Prabhuji.
Highest intelligence. So now we have to see where are we now. Are we intelligent or not? So if the intelligence is used wrong, is it real intelligence or foolishness? Hare Krishna, everyone. Maybe I'm repeating the same thing.
Yes,
It's
Prabhuji.
boring, but
Foolishness, yeah, then right.
yeah. So I'll go a little faster. Yeah, at least we cover this part. So, but then because of foolishness, we have already addicted to so many fruits of activities. Because if I made it, everyone should know I made it. If I am there, everyone should see that I am there. Why? Because that at least result. That's immediate result, right? Adirasa Prabhu, you have a great done a great service. How do you feel when I say that?
But happy.
Quite happy. And if I say, hey, you have done bad service, how do you feel?
Yeah, very bad, yes.
Hmm? Very bad. Yeah. So that shows how much we are addicted to the results of what we are doing. And in that, there is also Krishna. There is no doubt. I mean, there is little Krishna. But that way is called Karma Yoga. When a person knows the goal of life, which means Krishna is the goal, but is addicted to the fruits of activities, he is acting in Karma Yoga. Yeah. And when he knows that the goal is Krishna, but he takes pleasure in mental speculation to understand Krishna, he is acting in Jnana Yoga, which means though I know the topmost philosophy of Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam is to surrender to Krishna, serve him, but still if I speculate some things, why to do like that? Why can't I do like this? I think Krishna said, I don't think Krishna is a supreme personality. Maybe, yeah, he just you know, to show his greatness, he had spoken little more. But in my opinion, everyone is same. Krishna is also ordinary, or different schools of thoughts, philosophies. If they are telling like that, yeah, but oh, I know that there is one supreme. Yeah, Krishna. I don't know, or all these things. Yeah, speculating, using our mind, because after all, Lord has given this mind. We have this, and if we use it, yeah, if it is proper, yeah, my mind is our friend. It may work out, but if it's our enemy, We will just find the same shastras, we use the same quotes and use the same and say, see, in shastras it is said that you should not do this, so let me not do it. Using shastras to avoid, that is, I forgot, niyamagraha. Yeah, niyamagraha should be used so that we can advance in Krishna consciousness, but not this niyamagraha is used to control the senses so that we don't even progress or advance. That is what is Jnana Yoga. Having knowledge, but somehow misusing that knowledge in not the right way, so that we avoid service. But when he knows the goal and seeks Krishna completely in Krishna consciousness and devotional service, he is acting in Bhakti Yoga or Buddhi Yoga. Why? Because he has used his intelligence perfectly for the perfect purpose. That's how one can become perfect. That's what. This complete yoga is the highest perfectional stage of life. And now comes a very interesting point here. I think Komal Prabhu, you were reading this nice points. A person may have a bona fide spiritual master. Hmm? A person, yeah, he has a guru. He has a Panditji family guru. Yeah, whatever all the rituals that are happening in his house, whether it is marriage or Shrad or whatever, all the ceremonies, there is a Pandit, and then, yeah, and then a person is there and he is doing everything. Uh, uh, a person is also detached and he is guiding and maybe attached to a spiritual organization. Even he is representing, is part of ISKCON. But if he is still not intelligent enough to make progress, Uh, in spite of having a very nice guru, whether it is a family guru or a spiritual authorized bona fide spiritual master, even he is part of an organization, but in case if his intelligence is not developed, uh, which means he has taken up the right process. He took to the right process. What is it? To have a spiritual master, uh, to have to be part of a good association, which is a spiritual organization. Even in that case, if he still is not intelligent enough to make progress, that is still possible, na? In spite of all these accessibilities, it might be that he still may need that intelligence. Then Krishna is saying, if there is anything to be filled, backfilled, then Krishna from within gives him instructions so that he may ultimately come to him without difficulty. So the Lord is not just only waiting, but he is also facilitating so that we can come to him. And with love and devotion, render all kinds of service. He should perform some sort of work for Krishna, and that work should be with love. If a devotee is not intelligent enough to make progress on the path of realization, but is sincere and devoted, the Lord gives him a chance to make progress and ultimately attain to him. So, is there any loss here? There is no loss. It's not thinking, I'm not if I am foolish, then if this is not the way, what happens? No, Krishna is making us intelligent. Yeah. Only qualification. What is the only qualification? What is the only qualification? Someone? Just now we read in the purport. What is the only qualification?
Loving devotional service.
What is that?
To render service with love and devotion.
To render service. No, but
Yes.
what is the qualification to do that?
Is it faith?
What faith I have underlined? Na? The qualification is that a person always engages himself in Krishna consciousness with love and devotion. Hmm? So you guys are not so attentive. Or maybe it's I'm dragging so much that the important point is lost. If a devotee is not intelligent enough to make progress, but But what is sincere and devoted to the activities of devotional service. So the process is that even though we are not intelligent, if we take to this process and practice sincerely, huh, what is that expectation? One should perform some sort of work for Krishna with love. So when we have these two things, then we can attain what we want. Yeah, I'll stop here. I wanted to cover the next one, but maybe fresh mind next week. Any questions in this one? No questions, then thank you very much. Thank you for joining. Vanchakalpatarabhyascha kripa sindhuvyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.